Sexism. It is a very prevalent thing within this fandom. Hi, my name is Spikey McFox, and today I am here to talk to you about the sexism in the furry fandom. Just to make it perfectly clear, this is a video that is meant to bring light on the subject and not meant to be attacking to any sexual orientation or gender, but it is something that we need to talk about. Now, a recent controversy came out when a meme was created by someone that goes by the name of Blocky Riper. Now, that name sounds as bad as it is, so therefore it kind of gives you context of how bad this meme is going to be if you haven't seen it already. So there was a meme that this person posted and created of a furry having a anti-woman spray. Now, my first thought when I saw that, why? Because if you can't do that for certain groups of people, why is it okay to do it for women? This post is actually reposted by Italian Fur Posting, which is a popular furry meme social media. They have a Telegram channel, they have an Instagram, and this doesn't mean that they're all necessarily bad people, but they do seem to promote this stereotype of sexism in the fandom. And to make it clear, and I'm not saying in particular that every man in the fandom is sexist, but this is a meme site that mainly posts towards male furs in the fandom and doesn't seem to include any female or any other furs in this fandom. But Blarky Riper? What the fuck kind of name is that, you moron? What kind of fucking name did you come up with, bitch? What the fuck? Blarky Riper? Now, it's one thing to have a sense of humor, and dark humor is definitely a thing that I enjoy, to a certain extent. But at the same time, when it comes to things like this, it becomes a little too over the top, especially because of how heavily prevalent it is in this fandom. I actually was in the comments after I saw this meme, and I posted how I felt about it, and some people agreed with me, and some people, instead of saying I disagree but okay, decided to attack me and joke and mock me, and even to the point where they would actually use the meme and try to send it to me as a comment. To be honest, I don't really get offended easily, so I don't really care. But at the same time, this is something that really holds deep in my heart, and I just had to express my frustration towards it. I would hope that more people would understand, but again, they've proved their point by doing what they did. I found some articles on the site known as Fur Science, which gives a lot of different statistical variations in the fandom for different topics. And I actually found one dedicated to female furs and sexism in the fandom. Now, this is going to be a lot of information, and I will leave the links down below, but I'm just going to tell you guys this now because I think it's something that we need to talk about, like I said, and I don't mind giving out all these statistics, or at least as much as I can, because this needs to be drilled into people's heads in my mind. I'm not trying to be an a-hole about it or a Karen. I just think that people need to at least know about it and take it as they will, and do what they want. According to the Fur Science survey, which was taken in Anthrocon in 2018, 72% of the fandom was found to be made up of men, compared to the low 25% of the fandom being made up of women. Now, that doesn't include the other 12% that was made up of transgender identifying individuals or non-binary identifying individuals, which make up more of the percentage than the women themselves. And then in the summer of 2020, 73.2% of the fandom ended up being made up of men. Only 1.1% of the fandom was made up of women. Another Fur Science article that was created states that 52.4% of participants say that when they're hanging out with other furries, they were often reminded of their sex. 48% state that the words or actions of other furries have made them think of their sex. 19% expressed concerns that they didn't belong in the furry fandom because of their sex. 85% indicated they wished there were more furry women in the fandom. 42% of women disagreed. The statement that women in the fandom are treated equally was not true. 22% of the women in the fandom were looked down upon. 68.4% of women agreed in the fandom that it was not a place that they felt was for women. I have gone through my own share of sexism in this fandom, which it's bound to happen in the world. But more so, it seems to be very prevalent in this fandom. And I keep using the word prevalent, but I really mean it because it really is prevalent. I've had friends who will not talk to me as much as their male friends, and I'm not saying that is necessarily sexism, but a lot of times they'll completely ignore me while talking to their other friends, even if they would consider me a close friend in private. But in person, they don't want to interact with me. I've also had it where I've talked to friends about how I wish that there was more straight and lesbian representing females in the fandom and just females in general, and they got upset by me saying that. The thing that kind of angers me in some way is that Italian Fur Posting did take down the meme. The reason this angers me is because they were trying to hide evidence that they were affiliated with it. At least that's my opinion. That's why I'm also making this video, so that people don't forget what they did. And I hope they make an apology soon, like this one person who made the meme did, which I will leave linked down below as well. But I'm just saying, you gotta think before you act. Which I've struggled doing that too. I totally get it. I've said some things that have offended people before too. But that's the old me. And even when I still do that, I try to apologize for it, you know? And sometimes I don't, depending on if I think it's justified. But this is something that I think the females in the fandom deserve an apology for. 85% indicated that they wish there were more furry Wyndham. 85% of the furries